What's up, y'all? We are here. Look, we're back studying the history of Egypt. So, coming in like the video, let's see what we can learn, man. Look, Ptolemy 13, Theos, Philopator, brother, husband of Cleopatra the seventh, Philopator of Egypt. So, I want to go on this tour. As you see here, we're with the Roman Emperor, Julius Caesar, right now. But we're gonna head over to, we're gonna learn about Rome, man. I thought I had did all of this. What up, OTK? What up? So let's go to the, we could start off with the crucifixion, because my boy OTK here, so we're gonna go into crucifixion. See what we can learn. So right now, this is, man, we might be in the early, okay, Ptolemaic period. The drachma was used during the Ptolemaic period. It is also the currency used in the game. Mummies were anointed with perfume in order to render them acceptable to the gods. All right, here we go. So we're gonna learn about the crucifix, all right? They say his son with her stole the 10 Commandments. Alright, so as you can see, this is Roman Egypt. We got a crucifixion right over here to our right. We're gonna see what they say about it. We're gonna start this this tour. It's gonna be a 3-minute tour. It says, learn about crucifixion, the most severe form of Roman capital punishment.
Welcome to crucifixion.
Alright, capital punishment. You get crucified.
In terms of the severity of Roman justice, crucifixion was at the top of the list of corporal punishment, followed by death by fire and decapitation.
Ooh.
The upper class considered crucifixion unworthy of their position. Those lucky enough to have Roman citizenship were also exempt from such treatment.
So if you were a Roman citizen, you would not have to face capital punishment of being crucified. This was for the lower class. So they'll crucify you, they'll burn you, or they'll cut your head off, is basically what he said. I want to see if I could turn up the volume a little bit. It's all the way up. Okay. More information. In terms, oh, we already read that. All right, let's keep going. Facts, Ptolemy, they was from Alexander's crew.
Easily accessible, crucifixions were popular entertainment among the citizenry.
Wow.
Unlike throwing victims to wild animals, which required an arena, crucifixions did not require any particular setting.
So they said this was entertainment. So that's just like what they would do in the Colosseum, like seeing people die. Everyone would gather to watch it. It sounds honestly like what they did, hanging motherfuckers from trees. Excuse my language, hanging people from trees in America. So it seemed like that corporal punishment way. Maybe that's a remnant of the Romans being in Britain, where the Anglo-Saxons carried on that type of corporal punishment. I don't know. I'm just trying to make a connection. You know? So it says here, a popular entertainment, crucifixion, decimation, John Beaver, Roman military punishment from 1725. Well, that's okay. That's what we're looking at. This is in the Museum of Art in New York. It's called decimation. And I see lions are eating a man's guts right there. So maybe that's another form of punishment they used to do. They'll sick the lions on you while they got you tied up. Another guy is being thrown off a cliff over there on the top left. We see someone getting burned in the background, right? They got him with his hand, he basically hand tied behind his back, tied to a tree or a log, and they burning him from his feet up. So we see how the Romans used to, how they would do people. So to me, that seemed like control via force.
Those subjected to crucifixion were almost always slaves, traitors, and lower-class citizens. Roman deserters were crucified because the betrayal of the soldiers was perceived as endangering the lives of Roman citizens.
So this is a piece of artwork in the Louvre Museum in France. Maybe, I know the Louvre is a French word, so it's in France. It's from the Renaissance period, and it's called the Martyrdom of Saint Andrew. I don't know who Saint Andrew is. Yeah, the game is a walking history book, bro. I love this game. Spartacus.
In 71 BCE, a major slave uprising in Italia was repressed by the Roman army. This resulted in the crucifixion of 6,000 men, including their leader, a slave and former gladiator known as Spartacus.
Okay, that's who Spartacus is. Because I know they used to have a show called Spartacus maybe about 12 years ago. In 71 BC, a major slave uprising in Italia was repressed by the Roman army. This resulted in the crucifixion of 6,000 men, including their leader, a slave and former gladiator known as Spartacus. So now when I think of the cross now, right? The cross is bigger than just Jesus. Jesus made the cross bigger to us today. But back then, that was the Roman way. That was common. They was doing it before they did it to Jesus. It was just how they punished lower class citizens. They said also slaves and something like that. Traitors, people who would betray the Roman army, would get crucified. So look how quick that was. 3 minutes. The game didn't lie. 3 minutes. Look. To give you a quick history on crucifixion. Boom. That quick. I did Roman military equipment in the past. Roman forts. They got the forts of Cyrenaica and Roman aqueducts. I'm going to stay disciplined. I want to bounce around. I want to look at the pyramids. I want to look at all this other stuff. Alexandria. There's a whole bunch of stations to go through. I'm going to do Roman aqueducts. So working with water. Oh, OTK, this might be up your alley because you do irrigation. I know aqueducts is involved with the waterways and whatnot. So we got to learn about this real quick. Hell on wheels. The chariot was introduced by the Hittites, Egypt's rival for Middle Eastern dominance. Alright, so now it look like we in they getting the work back here. They getting the work back here. We got the Egyptians doing some masonry. So Roman aqueducts. Learn about the aqueducts and water management in Cyrenaica. 3-minute tour. Because the Ottoman way was to stick through the dang, YouTube didn't want to show that comment. So this this is after Alexander. Alexander is in he's in the BC times, maybe like 100, 200 BC or 300 BC. This is a little bit later.
Welcome to.
Because you know the Romans came after the Greeks. The Greeks was first, then it was the Romans. Let me see if I could be Alexander the Great. Hold on. Is he in here? I could be an Egyptian nobleman. I could be a Roman soldier, a Ptolemaic soldier. All right, they don't got Alexander in here. I could be a Greek nobleman. I could be Ptolemy. I could be, I could be Cleopatra. Yeah, fuck it. I'll be Cleopatra. Ptolemy was one of his generals. All right, so now we're Cleopatra. How she look, OTK? She looking right? She looking right.
Water management was taken seriously by the Romans. Cyrenaica benefited greatly from Roman administration with the construction of aqueducts and canals. The source of water varied depending on the location. Many aqueducts were built at the foot of the mountains, offering greater flow from the melting snow.
Aqueducts were built at the foot of the mountains, offering greater flow from the melting snow. So what we have here is it's called the Pont du Gard Aqueduct. This is an 18th century artwork that is in the Louvre Museum. So we're seeing the previous way of life. So their water management. Look, we got the Egyptians in the background getting to work. Look, so the Romans putting the Egyptians to work, giving them jobs, I guess you could say.
The ability to transport water over a greater distance increased agricultural production. Some aqueducts were reported to be over 7 kilometers in length. Where the Greeks of Libya originally focused mainly on olive trees and figs, which required less water, the advent of Roman aqueducts allowed for a far greater crop diversity.
Yeah.
Every farm's water use was carefully scheduled.
So this ability to transport water gave them a more diverse crop. This is wow, okay. You know, I wasn't even thinking of it like that. So you got to give them their credit. I know it's one of those things where people are like, oh, you know, they conquered and colonized, but they also took it to another level. They took it to another level, doing things that wasn't being done before. Moving water, yeah. The Arabs in Egypt. Yeah, believe it or not, I learned a lot from the games. I be on here like, I be immersed in the world, bro. Like I'm in Egypt, like I'm in Britain, like I'm in Iraq. Look at the Egyptians. He's speaking Egyptian. You hear it? Hold on, let me see if this nigga... Oh, wait, I could do something. Hold on. What's he about to do? It looked like I could talk to him or something. No? Alright.
The engineering methods used to create aqueducts were constantly reviewed.
They got
a clear focus on exploiting the local environment. Materials, water usage, cleaning regulations, and a deep understanding of how to exploit gravity itself were all important concerns. Several fortresses were built to protect the aqueducts, basins, and cisterns.
On exploiting the local environment, materials, water usage, cleaning regulations, and a deep understanding of how to exploit gravity itself were all important concerns. So here's a Roman leveling tools from the Roman Empire. They got this in the National Museum of Antiquities in Leiden. I'm not sure where Leiden is. But here's some of their tools right here. Yeah, I was gonna say, I wanted to get the most recent game. It takes place in feudal China. Something like that. I think it's feudal China. But it's for the P5. I still got the old P4, you know, which was my dad's, and he just gave it to me because he wasn't playing it. So yeah, but they got another one that takes place in feudal China. Man, I can't even get on it until they make one for the P4 or if I get the P5. But I know they got another one that takes place in Greece that's old. So I might play that one too and learn about ancient Greece. Look at the Egyptian. That's an Egyptian right there, I guess. Cause that's what caused diseases. Alright, here we go.
Additional water was collected with wells and cisterns, but aqueducts were the main supply of fresh water. The water was distributed based on the collective needs of the city, before the private needs of an individual.
So this picture we're seeing here is in Italy. This is insane. Hey, look at the extent of that, bro. That's wild. And we see the Roman arches right there. And if I'm not mistaken, that's cinder block, right? That look like concrete blocks to me. And you could just see like the level of mathematics that gotta go into this. You need skilled artisans. You need some type of city planning. Maybe someone who could draw out a layout of what it's supposed to look like. You need a mathematician and some type of tool to measure the height. So this says a Roman aqueduct of Segovia in the 20th century. This is in Firenze, Italy. That's mortar work? Okay.
Almost all aqueducts ended in a fountain where the water circulated to clean the streets and supply bathhouses and latrines, thus improving the cleanliness of Cyrenaica's cities.
So the aqueducts filtered out into the streets to clean the streets. So you do got to give them credit for, I don't want to say civilizing because they already had civilization in Egypt, but they just updated the capability of how the city was able to function. I don't want to say they civilized them or anything like that, but they definitely added more positive components to the lifestyle and living conditions of the place that they built. I told you, yeah, keeping everything clean. So the Romans, I know, yeah, I also learned about like the Roman bathhouses and stuff. So at least those Europeans had something going when it comes to cleanliness. So that's the tour on the aqueducts. Now we're gonna, who should I be now? I'll be an Egyptian woman next. So here's the, now this is interesting because I was bringing this up a couple years ago. I think the representations of the Egyptian population is very interesting. Would you say their waste was causing sickness? That's why it was really created. Okay. Now, how do we feel about the representation of the Egyptians? So here's an Egyptian woman. And then here's an Egyptian noblewoman. That looked like a black woman to me. Now the men are different though, because look at this. He still looks Egyptian, but you see more, he got like a more Arab type to him. You know what I mean? This one is also an Egyptian. Reda. That looked like a you know, they represented him in the game. Honestly, they look a little bit like black Americans, if you ask me. Alright, so I'm gonna be see, this girl, she is half Greek, half Egyptian. So you got all the different ethnic groups represented in the game. Alright, so now let's go to this last checkpoint for the Romans. This is called the Forts of Cyrenaica. A lot of them died out, almost died out, until they got introduced to cleanliness. Oh, that's what he said. Yeah, I just wanted to get on here for like 30 minutes. And then I got some stuff I gotta do. So this is Reda. He plays a merchant in the game. He's a child merchant. He's from Egypt. But we're gonna check out the forts. So we got something right here, as you guys could see. So we're gonna check out this fort.
Welcome to the Forts of Cyrenaica.
So you see the Roman guards right here.
Cyrenaica was a Libyan region under Roman control, gifted to Rome by one of Cleopatra's ancestors. The remains and foundations of ancient fortifications were discovered in the 19th century in the southwest of Cyrenaica, as well as a Roman garrison dating back to the 1st century CE. Evidence shows that these forts were of Libyan origin, rebuilt and modified by Roman engineers when Cyrenaica was part of the empire.
Okay, I gotta reread that. It was originally Libyan, but the Romans rebuilt it. Okay. The remains and foundations of ancient fortifications were discovered in the 19th century in the southwest of Cyrenaica, as well as Roman garrison dating back to the 1st century. So this was a Libyan region under Roman control. This was gifted to Rome by one of Cleopatra's ancestors. Truist, I spoke to him like 30 minutes ago. What was I gonna say? I forgot. Behind the scenes.
Stone was the most commonly used material to build forts in Egypt and Cyrenaica.
Stone, yeah.
Though no real proof of a fortress similar to the one before you has been uncovered in that region, the team chose to add it as a worthy and awe-inspiring end-of-game challenge for the player.
Okay. Come. Let me see. Nah, I think he just... I really think he just checked into work. If I'm not mistaken. The nigga be working like legit every single day. Like 7 days a week.
The forts of Cyrenaica were intended to prevent
Look at this map
from gaining access to the main route that led to the country's 5 most important cities.
Okay.
These forts were built close to coastal plains and deserts for added defense. 3 of these cities were recreated by the team: Balagrae, Apollonia, and Cyrene. Had it existed, the fort before you would have protected the road leading to Balagrae.
Okay, so the forts in this Libyan province were intended to prevent the invaders from gaining access to the main route that led to the country's 5 most important cities. I understand. So this is we also got to keep in mind that the way these cities were built and constructed were not independent of the threat of invaders. The Silk Road, the borderlands, that's another thing. Okay. Look at this map right here. So we see Cyrenaica. Oh, you can't see my cursor. Well, Cyrenaica is highlighted in the circle right there. So this map of the world is made by Eratosthenes of Cyrene. So I guess he's from this Libyan area. but he's Eratosthenes is Greek. That's a Greek name, so he's a Greek that was from Cyrenaica, I guess. I'm not sure. 240 BCE. So I guess right now the original of this is housed in Berlin, Germany, from what I'm reading up here. But it also has a date of 1803 on here, so I'm not sure if the 1803 is like a facsimile, like a copy or something like that. Now the Silk Road goes the Silk you tested my memory. I'm pretty sure that Silk Road start from West Asia and go through East Asia, right? Hold on, I gotta refresh my memory on the Silk Road. So we're going to the next checkpoint.
Other than reference to an attack around 404 CE and a military reorganization by Emperor Justinian during the 6th century CE, we still know little of the Roman military presence in Cyrenaica.
Okay, so there's little history on it, but the game is just trying to give us an example of what it was like, what it was used for. There are a couple historical references, but they said little is known about the Roman military presence in Cyrenaica. Alright, so that's a little bit about the forts. We completed that tour in about 5 minutes. We could go into Roman military equipment, but there's also a bunch of different topics. We could learn about the evolution of pottery in ancient Egypt, wine, leather, fashion, artisans, beer and bread, cultivation, building it, workers and transportation. I'm wondering if they added all these after I beat the game, because I swear I done went through all of these, but apparently they added more stuff to the game since, from what I'm seeing. More history. So what would be interesting to go in right now? The Step Pyramid complex of Djoser. Inside Djoser Step Pyramid. I guess we could do it. We could do Alexandria. Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt. The Siege of it. That's 20 minutes. Some of these they're extensive. Economical rule. Alexandria, city of celebration. The Hippodrome of Alexandria. The islands of Pharos. Learn about the islands of Pharos, the monuments located on the islands. I never heard about this. The islands of Pharos. Let's go to the islands of Pharos in Alexandria. And then I also got to give us a look at the map so we can see. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right, the library. Ancient marksman. The recorded maximum range of a well-trained archer was about 450 meters. Damn. That's about 1,500 feet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, this is a Greek island. Okay. Learn about the islands of Pharos and monuments located on the islands. So now we're getting into Greek life.
Welcome to the Islands of Pharos.
So since we're getting into Greek life, let me change the character to a Greek. Where's the Greeks at? I'm gonna be a Greek nobleman. So now I'm a Greek noble. And let's see the map. So now we can see where we're at. So, okay, Heraclion. I'm trying to get a good idea of where I am. Where the hell am I? This is Alexandria right here. So that's Alexandria. Where's Siwa? Okay, Memphis is over here. Fayoum. The White Desert, Black Desert. Siwa is over here on the west. And then look, the Libu, which would be what the Libyans were called. So I guess there's a region in, I guess this is leading into Libya. And then this ain't water over here. This is actually like, the game's not letting me go over there. So the Libu, this would be going towards Libya. So Libya's over here. Alright, I'm gonna do this last tour.
The Heptastadion was a bridge-like causeway connecting the island of Pharos to mainland Alexandria. Its name is based on the Greek terms of measurement, hepta, meaning 7, and stadion, which is a measure of length of roughly 180 meters.
Well, I want to know, when was it built? Well, actually, yeah, when was this bridge built? But that's crazy, though. Hold on, let me see. Nah, I might not be live later. I'm just getting this one in today, but it's thank you for coming through, bro. Appreciate it. So Alexandria, view from the Mediterranean Sea. I'll catch you on your next live, though. I'll catch you on your next live.
Since its construction would separate the Grand Port to the east and the port of Eunostos to the west, it was designed with channels at each end. These openings allowed passage from one port to the other.
So yeah, I might save this for the next one. Just go on this Greek tour. Keep this one strictly Roman. I wanted to do Rome for a reason, because I'm studying Rome in England and Rome, and you know, just Rome. It just comes up a lot. So I wanted to make sure I get some of this Roman information in. Alright, so I'll come back. I'll do another one another time, maybe going to the pyramids. If I already did it, I'm not going to do it again because I don't want to revisit the same information. But some of this stuff I went over today, like in the Roman side, was new. Some of it wasn't new. But alright, we're about to get up out of here. Peace.